Hey guys, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. Finally uploaded a video after like a month, but today I'm going to be showing you how I took a men's top and turned it into a Reformation inspired top. And I've always wanted one of these, but I guess I just never got around to it. And I love deconstructing clothes. And I learned how to deconstruct clothes at one of my internships I had. We used to upcycle denim, which is really cool, but I feel like nowadays it's so important to be resourceful with fabrics and be intentional of what you buy and get something that's gonna last you a long time. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I took a men's top and transformed it into something new, keep on watching. So step one, we're gonna deconstruct this Lands' End men's top, and I purchased this at the Goodwill for $8. Here we're gonna cut the armholes and the side seams. So I'm just gonna go in with my scissors and cut right directly through the seam. And with both side seams, we're gonna cut through the seam as well. Now we're on to the back bodice. I wanted to utilize as much fabric as possible, so I'm gonna take out that pleat from the back and remove the top panel from the back bodice with the seam ripper. And seam rippers, it's just easier to get into the seam allowance, so you're utilizing more fabric. Now we're unpicking the pocket, and this is just gonna give us a clean base to place our pattern pieces on. And now we want to open up the sleeve. So what we're gonna do is cut the cuffs right on the seam as well as the underarm seam. Now we're on to step 2, and this is where we're gonna trace our pattern making pieces. And I'm utilizing the back bodice to make the shirring part of the shirt and the lining. So in order to make the shirring, we want to make sure the pattern is larger than the lining piece, because when we shear the pattern, it's just gonna shrink. So here I'm just measuring out how long and wide the shirring should be. And again, I want to utilize as much fabric as possible. So now we're gonna take our front bodice that we cut from the shirt, and we're gonna place our back pattern pieces to this top. So I'm just aligning the armholes together and just again placing the pattern as close as possible. And here's an overall look of how I placed all my pattern pieces utilizing the front, back, and sleeves of the men's shirt. Here's a clip of me realizing that I messed up. I accidentally cut too much of the pattern and I was basically screwed, but thankfully I had scraps. But yeah, cue the next clip. Dang it. I accidentally cut the middle of the shirring. Dang. I'm screwed. I just cut the most important piece. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we ran into an issue, but thank God I have extra fabric. So when you shear fabric, the pattern gets smaller, right? And I didn't cut enough, long enough fabric. So I'm using a scrap piece right now to do the shearing for the top bodice, but sometimes you just think things go your way and they just don't, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shear it again. When sewing the shearing, you wanna make sure you keep the threads long in order to pull inwards to make that shearing effect. So after we pin the shearing to the lining, we are also going to sew the bottom piece of the top. And here's how the lining looks inside. I love how deconstructed it looks. As you can see, there's a bunch of scraps in it. Before I sewed any further, I just wanted to make sure everything looked okay. So there's extra fabric on the shoulder seams. So I took about a ½ inch off both sides. And then I want to put elastic on the bottom hem of the sleeve and lowered the neckline a little bit. To me, it just looked a little too high. Now we are running the elastic on the sleeves. So we're going to stretch the elastic out a bit. It's a ½ inch elastic, and we're running a single needle stitch right down the middle. I chose to insert an invisible zipper, and I just think it gives it a cleaner look. So after we put in the zipper, we're finally finished, and this is the finished product.